Sports Fest Rick Horrow, inside the $1.3 trillion business of sports. You're on the record. Happy New Year. The top issues in 2026 to look forward to, but also a key interview with someone who is very important in defining the world going forward. Priyanka York, the VP of Operations at Overtime Elite, the next-gen basketball league at the intersection of sports, media, and culture. She drives the league's strategic growth, day-to-day execution, scaling processes and initiatives to redefine how sports are played, experienced, and shared with fans worldwide. And before joining Overtime, she helped shape global sports strategy at Amazon Prime Video, advising leading media and entertainment companies, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and produced international sports content at ESPN. A BA in broadcast journalism and policy studies from Syracuse, but so much more. Bottom line is, as you look at events that are created because of the willingness to be involved in sports business in a broad scale, and also using media, newfangled and old media, and their new dynamics to shape distribution, corporate sponsorship, economics, and the sustainability of leagues, 2026 is a brand new world for that, which is why Priyanka York is very significant in this space. Here she is now. Sports Professor Rick Horrow, inside the $1.3 trillion business of sports. You're on the record with Priyanka York. We'll talk about who she is in a minute, but this is a conference with CCON, Sports Entertainment Innovation, with its relationship with Genesis, a economic tech expansion organization, early stages in Atlanta, but the synergies are great. And CCON's going to be doing this all over the country. In context here with Georgia Tech and others through the UNLV Syracuse alumni group, again, all over the country. So back to Priyanka, the VP of Operations at Overtime Elite. It's called by them the Next Gen Basketball League at the intersection of sports, media, and culture. Hi, how are you? And what is this all about?
Thanks so much for having me. I'm doing really well. Overtime Elite. It's the intersection of culture and sports, and the fact that we always think about athletes the second they go to college, right? What about all of that talent right before that? And in this environment that's changing with the NIL landscape, now amateur athletes get to be paid. And how do you prepare those athletes, not only for that next level of college or professional sports, but how do you also create this pipeline where your 11-year-old basketball fan can't relate to LeBron James, but he can relate to the 18-year-old five-star recruit that's going to go to Kansas. And so we've created this league, our own IP, and we're a media company that covers it. And so this kind of entire life cycle comes across that Overtime League.
So the interesting issue is that there's a lot of early stages. I know you've had experience with Amazon, ESPN, and you have brought to the table those kind of experiences. But to create a league where you know you're going to get significant distribution and significant awareness, that satisfies a lot of the boxes before you even start.
That's the thing. And you because of ESPN and Amazon, you know how much sports rights these days cost. Sometimes these days it's only those big tech companies that can pay that bill. And so that price cap creates a gap between all these companies that want to monetize on sports but can't. And so now we're bringing in this new opportunity that lets sponsors, brands, our lifestyle department that has all of the merchandise around it. You create this ecosystem that has a better barrier to entry.
So undergrad at Syracuse, broadcast journalism and policy studies, and then Emory. So the interesting thing is you're tied into one of the foremost broadcast and journalism schools in the world, and you apply the trade here locally in Atlanta. So it's a great combination.
It was very intentional. Went to Syracuse. A couple of sportscasters and production people come out of that, just a few. Did that at ESPN for a long time, covered tennis, which I loved. Was feature producer, got to travel the world. When you're 22 and you get to go to the French Open and Australian Open, it's not so bad a gig.
No, on ESPN, its coverage, it does it really, really well.
It was an incredible, it's almost like a production boot camp for me. Got to learn a lot from that storytelling element. But I wanted to be part of the business of sports. We just talked about how much has changed the landscape of streaming, NIL, all these things. I needed to do a pivot, so I came down to Emory to do an MBA.
And the beauty of the MBA is that the stuff you're learning Tuesday is outdated, and you got to learn something else Wednesday. Right?
That was
especially with NIL and other, obvious changing things.
The theme of my career has been adaptability.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be very adaptable.
There are seminal leaders in the sports athletic director industry, and athletic director back at Georgia Tech is one.
Yep.
He's tremendous. We've been on panels together, and he's great. And so guys like Castiglione in Oklahoma and Radakovich in Miami and Alfred at Florida State, a lot of folks, but you have to be on your toes and you have to be pretty nimble today to get out ahead. Don't you?
You really do. And what's today, to your point, what's happening today may not be happening next year. And, with our college athletes, like entering the portal and how sustainable is that? Like, those are all questions we're trying to figure out. Yeah. Because if now, every athlete's saying, I'm just going to go year to year from school to school, that changes the game for all these colleges too.
Get back to Overtime Elite for a minute. Tell me specifically, structurally, how it's set up, how the athletes get in, how you kind of explain to them that this is a way to maximize their opportunities. So tell me.
Yeah, for sure. So Overtime Elite is a 9-team league, and that includes 3 teams in Atlanta, and the other 6 are kind of spread across the country. They're basketball academies that play under our brand, and each team, we've created an entire ecosystem of, a fandom, social accounts, all of the lifestyle and design. We've actually even got sponsors. So there's a couple teams that are sponsored by very large companies. Phase Plan is one of them. Fear of God Athletics, which is a lifestyle and clothing brand. And so they play under our league with that. And the 3 teams in Atlanta, we actually house an academy that is school training, preparedness for college. And the best part about it is now these 9 teams, every college coach in Atlanta and the country is going to check them out.
Venues, high school gyms, and people come and they pay to watch.
They do, yeah. So right here in Atlanta, in Atlantic Station, there's a arena, and we will play for 4 months out of the year. And Fridays and Saturday nights, we'll have a whole fan base come and kind of cheer these guys on. But it's also a TV first kind of environment. So we've streamed on Amazon Prime in the past. We're really, really going all in on YouTube right now. There's a lot of opportunity to create a broadcast kind of environment while also kind of building out that fandom in person as well.
So as we take this, Atlanta just became the home of a women's soccer team. Over $150 million.
Yeah.
What are you doing for the women's version of Overtime Elite?
So we've actually about 2 years ago launched the women's basketball league, and it has done an incredible amount on our social platforms. The following it's so unique because there is nothing like that really brings the top, I would say top 100 ESPN ranked college basketball, high school basketball players to a league, playing together, competing against each other. And the best part is we're also creating an environment where they can learn about how to build their brand. So we'll bring in different sponsors and actually have kind of NIL conferences to help them monetize their brand before they even go sign at a college.
And so you're preparing kids not just to play basketball and not just for life, but to take advantage of the NIL opportunities that are out there. So, all right. So what's next for Priyanka York and Priyanka York? Different question.
Yeah.
But what's next for Overtime Elite?
Overtime, it's building that audience. I mean, for us, that competition of how many eyeballs are on our league can never be enough. And so it's growing in a way where we compete with these professional leagues that, NHL, NBA, those audience numbers are not just aspirational for us, they're the goal.
Do you think you get enough support? Do you get any? And do you think you get enough support from the pro leagues, the entertainment folks in town and around the country?
I think we do. I think there was a moment there where people weren't sure where we were going to be in the marketplace, but we are partners in so much of this, right? So a lot of our athletes, they'll go top 10 in the NBA lottery. And so all of a sudden we're preparing these athletes and actually helping the NBA or helping colleges. And so it's a partnership now. And so that helps a lot.
Well, the partnership will continue to grow, and Priyanka York is a very important part of it. Overtime Elite is not just something you ought to watch, but the model is something you ought to emulate. Sports Professor Rick Horrow, speak with you soon.